Hello and welcome to financialexpress.com. I'm Roshun Povaiah, editor, Financial Express Digital. In this CXO Connect podcast series, I have with me a fully self-made entrepreneur who's working in the hospitality business. He started out with just about $20,000 in 1996 and today has built a huge hospitality business with about 6 resorts with 300 keys and expanding to another 1,000 and across 6 townships in Maharashtra. And of course, it's not just hospitality, he also has adventure thrown into it. So without further ado, let me introduce Jimmy Mistry, the founder of the Della group. Welcome to the show.
Hi Roshun, pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah. Now, entrepreneurship isn't easy for anyone. There are so many challenges, but since 2009, when you started the resorts business, and before that, when you just set up the business, how has it been? Building this adventure park and entertainment. What made you get into it?
So Roshun, entrepreneurship is a contact sport.
Okay.
And when you're in a contact sport, you need to be ready. You need to build your mindset. You're going to get thrashed. You're going to punch. You're going to get punched, and you need to be ready for this entire game together. Those people who are weak-hearted, who don't have the ability to take these punches, are never going to be able to grow in as entrepreneurs. Because no successful entrepreneur in the world has made it straight with a clean face. It's always been a couple of punches and a couple of bruises, bad ones, good ones. That's the story of an entrepreneur. You cannot be scratch-free and standing there and smelling of roses. Right. It's a difficult journey. It started way back 29 years back. It started in 91. Yeah. And I've done multiple things in my life before I got into hospitality. Of course, design has been one common constant factor throughout. That's today whatever I am is because of the business of design. And I often keep joking, I didn't get into the business of design got into me. Okay. Because by qualifications or by training, I'm not a designer. Right. However, I've been inclined towards design and more so, if you specifically ask me, towards disrupting anything in terms of form and functionality is what my mind works on. So if I'm designing a mandir to a yacht, everything is about form and functionality and how can I make it cutting edge, how can I make it for the future.
Okay, so let's just go back then to the time you started. You started with design and that has got you to where you are today, right? So in a world where there's so much of competition, whether it's in design or whether it's in the hospitality space, what made you choose moving from design to hospitality and especially in the niche that you are in?
Well, for me, hospitality is also about design. You're creating experiences. Yeah. And as an entrepreneur within the world of business, for me, it's very clear, how can I disrupt anything that I'm working on and how can I thereby create my moat? I'm a person who's very quick to fix my moat because in terms of any product, services or offering that as you as an entrepreneur are doing, unless you don't have a moat defined and you work to fine-tune that moat every day of your life, you don't rise and shine out of a crowd. You're just one amongst many. So if Della brand and hospitality had to rise and shine as a standalone property, but carving a niche for itself in the world of experiential hospitality, it had to be very special. We had to carve out experiential hospitality. So we are just not into hospitality, but we are into experiential hospitality. And how do we create experiential hospitality is via the medium of design. Right. Design is a common thread that binds it all together. How are our room formats different? How is the design different? How do we create an element of surprise for our guests? How do the guests go into a washroom and come back smiling and laughing? So that's the moat that we have. And of course, then it has to be balancing with your service and with the quality. So the whole idea is it's an experience. Right. You constantly keep thinking, if I go with my family, what am I going to create as an experience? What is going to surprise me? I would love a picnic basket and a picture perfect, movie perfect scene with a mat laid out and a picnic basket and a bottle of wine and somebody taking our pictures. Makes you feel like a king.
I can relate to that. In terms of surprises, when I walked in here, I mean, just to tell you, they had my picture up on the board right behind and I didn't expect that. So that's a surprise from Jimmy.
So experiential hospitality is a very unique field we've carved out. We are the first ones in India. Yeah. Globally, there are a lot of brands that we emulate who've done fantastic. And 2 Indians that come to my mind who I keep constantly talking about is Sonu Shivdasani of Soneva brand. How Sonu has created the brand, and it's too small. It's just 3 properties, Fushi, Select and Soneva Jani. But I think the brand is global. and it's globally recognized for this zone and the moat that Sonu and his lovely wife have created and carved for themselves. Similar way, Della wants to carve a niche for itself within the world of experiential hospitality.
Okay, but I don't think it's been a smooth journey all through, right?
It never is.
In India, building a business, it's not that
It never
easy.
is. As a first generation entrepreneur, it never is.
Right. So what are some of the hurdles, if you could just take me through that, and how did you overcome them?
I think the biggest hurdle a first generation entrepreneur faces is capital. And that remains with him for a long period of time, especially if you're trying to grow constantly. It becomes almost a constant need for capital. Those entrepreneurs who set up slowly and grow slowly and it's one line of business, there the journey is smoother. But when you're pivoting across, setting up new industries and businesses, and that too hospitality and real estate, which is capital intensive, the journey is difficult. You kind of learn your way through, but it comes with its own ups and downs. It's never is a smooth one. So as a first generation entrepreneur, we need to be ready to kind of bell the cat and get ready for it. In our case, we've been lucky at times, and at times it's been sheer hard work. And then yet there are times when you feel that, God, thank you, I have gratitude, I'm blessed. Thanks to you, I've survived through this bad phase, like the phase of COVID, or the phase of the 98 recession, or the phase of 2008-9 recession. These are the times when you really look back and thank God that I have extreme amount of gratitude for helping me scrape through, pull through those phases, because without his divine intervention, I don't think anything was possible.
Right. So sticking with the thing of raising capital, now, out in the front you have a board which says that you started out with like 20,000 rupees. For a first generation entrepreneur with not much collateral or whatever, how did you go about raising capital? And then what are the different forms of capital that you got? Have you got venture funding? Have you taken debt from banks or corporate debt?
So I'm a person who believes in putting my money where my mouth is.
Okay.
And that directly implies and means debt. Most people are averse to this idea. Everybody loves to do business on other people's money. That's the easy way out. The difficult way out is if you believe in your own theme and concept, you invest in yourself. So till date, I don't own any equities or stocks or anything of other companies. I believe in putting all my eggs into my basket of Della, because this is what I know, this is my world, this is the world I trust, and I don't think anybody else can build more value for me than what I can do. So the minute entrepreneurs start making money and start investing into other people, means they believe in other people's story more than their own story. And they want to secure themselves. Of course, everybody wants security, but I believe as an entrepreneur, when you start from nothing, you keep investing in yourself and you build on it. For us, debt has worked. Very early on, we've never diluted equity to anybody. Now, for the first time, we are ready to do a placement, and we have been talking to financial institutions to see if what is the kind of value we generate, and if we can dilute as minor equity again, so that we can plow that money back into the company and take it for the next level of growth.
Okay. Can you walk me through some top line numbers, like what did you close 25 at?
25 March, we've closed just Della Resort standalone. Lonavala property is 200 crores top line, roughly about 65-66 crores EBITDA.
Okay.
This is the closure for this year. Next year, we've planned. It's going to be again a pivoting year for us, because now Della Hospitality has arrived, and together with the rest of the Della Group companies, Della has started providing DM services, which we are now trademarking with CDDMO. It's a form of DM. So when you do property developments, you do JVs, JDs, DMs. Within DM, we realize we are 2,500 employees. Our payroll is about 6 crores a month, and if I unleash the power of this 2,500 employees for other people, with our brand added onto it, it would make a remarkable difference, and our ability to be able to drive footfall and traffic and create magic in those cities would happen. So we signed up the first one in Pune, we got the second one in Goa, we got a third one that's going on between Nagpur and Chennai. I do not know what closes first. Then there is Igatpuri, then there is Mulshi. There is something coming up in Jim Corbett. There is enough and more lands being offered to us across the length and breadth of the country, and we've not even started advertising or going out to the media and putting up things on internet. We're just there right now, providing Della as a brand, experiential hospitality. So we hoping to become India's first theme-based township developers.
Okay.
That includes hospitality, includes branded residences, plotted villa developments, adventure parks, and so on and so forth, along with a concept and a theme. So we've got themes varying from a pure race course to world's first city where the creative world converges,
right,
which is fashion, art, and architecture. We've got something happening latest, which is around AI, the world's first smart AI-driven township. So we are creating a technology foundation, and we are putting India on a global map to do industry thought leadership positioning within the foundation, inviting all the techies of the world across, whilst we continue our business of plotted villa development and resorts and wedding destinations and MICE segment. All there is a constant. The concept is different. The themes are different in every place. And the adventure parks, adventures are different. We are making sure it is not a theme park, it's an adventure park. But I think the exciting part is, how do we collaborate with the world's best designers who understand luxury living, who understand luxury lifestyles, and bring all of them across to create magic in different cities in India? We've mapped around 25 cities, and that's the big one, because that's the next jump. I think MCAP of those, each 100-acre township is about 1,000 crores plus. The 25 townships, we are talking of 25,000 crores, and that's a huge, huge, huge jump. We are already in active conversations. We've got 6 townships in the pipeline, active conversations with at least 6 more. But like I said, we've not even scratched the surfaces yet.
Okay.
So that's the exciting,
you don't think
exciting part.
It's too many eggs in one basket here?
I don't think so. It's the end purpose is different.
Okay.
So for me, the purpose is the valuation, and all of that is fine. It's a byproduct. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Whatever number of zeros get added. I think the excitement is like this individually for me, and that's in the DNA of our organization as well. Lonavala alone has got 1,750 employees on the payroll, of which 1,100 are locals. We've impacted, hired locals, turn their lives around, turn their families around. We've adopted a Zilla Parishad school in our area. It started with 60 children. Now today we are at 260 kids. They are all Adivasi kids coming from absolute backward areas. Now they can speak English. So I think the impact in local communities is a huge, huge driver for us. And that's something that's a different high. So for me, the ability to be able to impact lives of 25,000 families within my lifetime, that's the bigger high than anything else. All of this is a byproduct. All of this is going to happen. And the amount of joy it brings when you look at families step out of your washroom and come back smiling, and the woman comes out and talks to her husband or talks to her friends and carries more women inside. Yeah. I think that scenario is what drives me. So I know I've obviously done something. Or when you see a grandfather or a grandmother sitting and milking a cow with a child, I think that's the emotional high that I get when I see something like that, thanks to my creation. Okay. Or thanks to the way of thinking, experiential hospitality. Or when you look at a whole family sit and enjoy a family entertainment program, which is not there available in India. We do an entertainment show with about 25 artists every night.
Right.
It's a whole production that happens.
Yeah.
Right. It's a family entertainment show. For me, those are the things for which I'm thriving on and driving myself. Or somebody who does a zip line or a bungee and comes back and feels they've really achieved something in life. These are the things that kind of drive me. Yeah. So the impact I'm talking about is, how can I take this experiences to 25 cities in India? Yeah. How can you have a couple who's just got married last night, next day morning they look at you, walk in the property and come running to you and say, wow, we thoroughly enjoyed, and this is, our wedding has been a memory thanks to you, and we love the property. Or the family or the father coming and saying that, look, we had a fantastic wedding. I think that moves me. So for me, my high of taking it to 25 cities is that. Also, we impact nature and societies, not just the local communities, but for me, animals play a very, very important role. Plants play a very important role. Water plays a very important role. So in each area, when you're able to adopt so many strays and so many pets around, we adopt all kinds of breeds across. We have about 80 dogs. Lonavala alone is about 40, and we've got about 20 horses. With Pune racecourse coming in, it's going to be X numbers more. So the whole idea is, I think you feel blessed that God is giving you an opportunity to impact.
So when you say inclusive here, it's not just inclusive among humans, it's also bringing the plants and animals and entire society into it.
It's great. So for me, that's my satisfaction. I get driven by all those things.
Yeah, so just coming back, you were talking to me about a private placement and also probably looking at the capital markets down the line.
Yeah, so we are looking at an IPO. I do not know when. Hopefully in the next 18 to 24 months is what we are looking at. Once we sign up with our bankers, we are in talks with the biggest guys in the country. And as soon as we kind of come to a closure, we sign up with one. That's where the journey begins. Okay. But like I said, we are in no hurry to go ahead and get that listing done. I'm not one of those entrepreneurs who's like, that's my ultimate aim in life. That's not my ultimate aim in life.
So, expansion plans domestically, you've already told me you're going to so many different cities and different areas. And any tie-ups in place, and even globally if you're looking at it?
So there are a lot of tie-ups in the way. On 8th of May, we are doing a kind of a small launch, and that's the first township that we are launching. I'll keep you posted, and you can also inform your viewers if they are interested to catch up on what we are doing. But a lot of global tie-ups are coming our way. Now that the volumes we are talking about, like I said, 25,000 crores is a large story for market cap. A lot of global design brands we've already tied up. We've already tied up with 23 of the world's biggest designers. They are all there on our website. The top guys from New York, London, Dubai, people are doing branded residences, so on and so forth. However, a lot more brands are going to be aligned in a manner that we are doing, because our townships are going to be pretty special and unique, since we are providing everything in the township from hospitality to plotted villa developments. Each township with the theme, brands of that genre will move. So we are creating the world's first autonomous driving F1 racing circuit. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Again, the business is not to conduct races.
Okay.
So we're creating a racetrack. We're making sure it's globally certified. But the business is not to conduct races. The business is to have fun, and the business is also to make sure we have an industry thought leadership positioning. How do we do that? So we bring in the automobile industry and say, look, track is available, resort is available, banquets, restaurants, the entire ecosystem that you would need is available. We don't want you to invest anything apart from, if you're interested, buy a plot, create what you want to create. We are either ways making villas, right? So we're hoping that about 400 automobile industry guys would be a part and parcel of it. All the global giants, because who else will provide them a free racing track? And if India can play a lead role in autonomous driving and testing, that would be a game changer. And it'll be a game changer for me, because we bring the entire automobile industry under one roof. So we've identified Chennai outskirts to do that. We've identified Pune. These are the two automobile hubs. So there is area between Pune and Mahabaleshwar that we've identified, either on that side or on this side. We do that. But Chennai, we've identified outskirts of Chennai. It's about 65 kilometers. So you bring a whole industry. When we're doing tech, you bring the whole tech industry. When you're doing wines, you bring the entire global wine industry. But the whole idea is not to make a vanilla business because it's wines, you create a winery and blah, blah, blah. That's the beaten route. What route we are talking about is not to have a winery, even though we are a global wine foundation, our ability to bring everybody from a Moe Chandon to a Valpolicella distilleries to everybody over there for industry thought leadership positioning. We're not asking them to come and give us a rental or hire a store or something like that. That's not the business.
Right. And of course, you have a lot of India's top business community also as part of the Della group with your DLC, your leadership club.
So DLC has been a game changer. So when Forbes New York called it the world's first business platform, a lot of eyebrows were raised, and first time people took notice of DLC. DLC is a small version of a YPO, EO, which is actually bringing the best entrepreneurs in the world together. And DLC would not have happened hadn't it been for my design career. So in my design career of 29 years, we've designed about 250 headquarters of different groups, some very, very large organizations to some very, very small family-run businesses. And that's given me an exposure to more than 250 entrepreneurs, managements of the world up close and personal. And that's in where my management bandwidth comes in and my relationship with people come in. We did some of the biggest companies in India in the world of entertainment, television, media, banking, finance, shipping, so on and so forth. Everything from paint labs to diamond labs, and yachts. So we've kind of been there, done that within the world of design, but those relationships have come in handy when I build Della Leaders Club. And Della Leaders Club helped me to go global, which none of my other businesses would have. So we are now based in New York, we are in London, we are in Dubai, we are at DIFC in the finance district. So if you look at Della Leaders Club website, we've done about 38 events across the world just last year.
Okay.
Each event is only with entrepreneurs.
Right. Right. So I mean, so that kind of leverage you have in terms of building the whole group.
That's the value we've created across.
Okay. So if I was to ask you, what's that one advice that you would give to entrepreneurs who are trying to build something like this? I mean, you've been working at it for over 30 years now.
There's a lot of advice. I can go on and on. More than advice, I think there's a lot of experience sharing that I can. But like I said, and I began my podcast by saying entrepreneurship is a contact sport. Most people are weak enough, and they kind of, once they've got two solid blows, they just don't get off the ground. You need to be trained to take those blows, fall flat. The minute you gain your consciousness back, you should be back on your feet. And that's the kind of one learning. You need to keep doing it till the time you cannot get up.
Okay.
Right.
And in terms of ease of doing business in India over the last so many years, have you seen it improve, or are there things that need to improve still?
Everything needs to improve in the world. But that doesn't mean I'm one of those guys who's going to criticize my country. I love my country, and I think India is a continent. I got some perspective to life in managing things when I became a trustee of Bombay Parsi Panchayat. It's one of the oldest registered institutions in the country. I fought an election within my community and I became a trustee. So before I fought the election, I was like, this should be done and that should be done. And I became a trustee, one of the 7 trustees. Then I realized for the first time in my life how you cut to pieces, how the law of the land governs, how the settlor's deed is governing every trust, and what you think is a piece of cake as an entrepreneur is not when you're on public domain. Right, and you need to take the public with you when you're doing things. So if I found it so difficult within a small community and a small institution like BPP, imagine doing something on an all India level or a Mumbai level or a Maharashtra level or an India level. We can only sit and yap and say this should be done and that should be done. The reality is very different. So it's hats off to the government for what they are doing. I'm in love with our PM. I just adore that man completely. I'm head over heels in love with him. So, and the respect comes from my little 2 bits of experience of how difficult, in spite of good intentions, to implement anything that is very evident and apparent. But to implement, you are bound, your hands, legs, chains are put all around you, and still you have to deliver. And he's delivering. So yes, a lot needs to be improved. Every time you go over a pothole, you're still kind of cursing the contractors and cursing the government. But the reality is things are improving. There is Atal Setu, which has made life simple, and there are fantastic infrastructure projects happening, and there is Mumbai's skyline has changed because of the roads and the connectivity, the way it is being brought in. Yet you still wonder why the dividers are left as it is, why the landscape is withered away, why there is garbage lying on the roads, and why can't the local MLA and the MPs be made answerable before their next election. So there is a certain side of me which wants to do this Bhagavat, but I then kind of put my blinkers on, because you select your wars, what you fight.
I think that's the tapestry that kind of defines India, right? You have all sides to it. Speaking of which, I mean, we're in the middle of a global trade war started by President Trump in the US, with all these tariffs being implemented. How do you think India is going to ride this out, and especially the real estate business and the hospitality business?
I think people who comment on it, it's not that simple. It's too complicated to understand. Each day is a new day. Each day is a challenge. One can see the writing on the walls that it's going to be a tough time. But anybody who claims to predict and kind of be the Mr. Know-it-all, I don't think anybody understands the whole magnitude of what's happening. People within the US government do not understand it, and hence for mere mortals like us to make a comment on it would be out of place. But in every calamity there is an opportunity. I think entrepreneurs need to keep telling that to themselves, because every time there's a calamity, there's an opportunity. And a positive-minded person to a negative-minded person, a positive-minded person is always looking for an opportunity in every calamity. A negative-minded person is looking for a calamity in every opportunity, right? So you need to decide which side of the fence you're on, and then go for it. But within this chaos, go for the organized chaos. And I'm a man who's always for organized chaos.
Okay.
I thrive in it.
Right. So I'm going to take 5 minutes now and shoot a set of rapid fire questions to you. And I want you to just say what comes from the top of your mind.
Absolutely.
This. Okay. So 3 people you look up to in life. It could be businessman, family, anyone.
Like I said, RPM. And not because it's politically correct, but I am blatantly in love with the man, so him. JRD Tata and Ratan, I think Jamshedji, it all began with them. So these are the 3 gentlemen who are my guiding light. None of the 3 are present there, so I don't need to please them by taking their names. But again, I'm head over heels in love with this legend, Jamshedji Tata. And I think he's an unsung hero in India. I think every school child should be exposed to his life and what he's done for the country.
Right. And one motto that you would like to live by?
No success or achievement in material terms is worthwhile unless it serves the needs of the country and its people and is achieved by fair and honest means.
Okay.
I really mean it. Because the way to measure a person's success is not by the number of zeros in your balance sheet, but the number of human lives you've touched. I think that is a game changer. The minute an entrepreneur understands that, that's a game changer.
Okay. One book that you would recommend everyone should read?
Jamshedji Tata's Life.
Okay.
For the Love of India by R.M. Lala. I think that's a book that every Indian should read. Every Della resort room, it doesn't have a Bible or a Kordevasa or a Bhagavad Gita, but every room has For the Love of India by Jamshedji Tata's Life by R.M. Lala. I think that's a book that I really recommend every entrepreneur to read.
All right. And a quote or a line from a movie that you often turn back to?
Picture abhi baki hai mere dost.
Okay. We live in the world of AI right now. So AI or human intelligence, what do you think will win in the long run?
It's out and out human intelligence. I think AI has been overhyped. Of course, it's a reality and it's a fantastic tool. It's like anything else humanity has come across. People have been averse to it till the time they really understand the ramifications. So for me, it's out and out human intelligence.
Okay. If you weren't a designer / hotelier / entrepreneur, what would you have been?
I love to serve people, and for me, I would have been in a public domain for sure.
Politician?
No? Not a politician. I'm not a politician, but I love to disrupt and serve people, impact human lives. So that's my calling at any point in time.
When in crisis, the first call you make is to whom?
My team.
Okay.
I'm very close to my team, and so that's to me very, very critical. My team includes my kids, my family, and my people who've been with me for 20 years, 25 years. So for me, that's my support system.
Okay. Your ideal weekend plan, how do you unwind?
Home, sleep.
Okay, that is a premium commodity these days.
It is. So we as a family are a little different. We all get up around 1:30. 2 o'clock is family breakfast. 5 o'clock is lunch. And that's a typical Sunday. Spend time with my mom in the evening. That's the day I meet her. But and play with my pets and be together. If we get just to be together, we do a little bit of research. We do fun stuff together.
Okay. And the last one, rank in order of how you appreciate their business philosophy. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk.
Elon.
Okay. All right.
A huge fan. So, amazing disruptor. An amazing human in terms of sheer impact to humanity, society, and the world. If you look at all four, who's impacted humanity in the maximum manner, and going forward, who's going to impact? It's Elon all the way.
Right. So I can see where that's coming from, because I think from what you've told me so far, you've also been, going in that direction. So thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Jimmy Mistry from the Della group. And so I'd like to thank him for joining me on this podcast.
My pleasure. Absolute pleasure to meet with you.
Thank you.
And be on your podcast. Thank you. Jai Hind.